What's up, pretty gang? It's your favorite nail tech Peaches, back with another video. This is what my client walked in with, and this is what I was able to help her achieve. You know, a lot of times you guys see me do real large scale reconstructions and stuff, and I wanted to show you about something that's not that big of a deal. It might look bad from first glance, but actually it was a very easy fix. So before we get into it, make sure you guys check the description box for coupon codes, my Amazon storefront. Follow me on social media, subscribe, and turn your notifications on. I do also want to say I'm letting go of the memberships. I think I got a little bit too carried away. This is the second time I'm trying memberships. All you guys' kind comments and the amount of people that subscribe monthly and my channel growing, it kind of made it seem like you guys would be interested in the extra mentorship and the one-on-one like video calls and things like that, but it turns out that's not actually something anyone is interested in the moment. So I'm probably gonna just let it go for a while until an opportunity comes up to where I know for a fact, for sure, that people actually want this type of help from me. A lot of times people tell me they want to take classes and they want to do this and that for me, but when it comes down to it, every time I have the option and the availability to do so, nobody ever books or buys or whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to take that as a sign that I'm not that type of nail tech for people right now. So anyways, let's keep it pushing. As you can see, we are going to go ahead and prep as normal. This client was supposed to get an overlay in acrylic toes. However, her hands were actively bleeding. When she sat down and showed them to me, there was dry blood and stuff. So I didn't feel comfortable servicing her because I did not know where those cuts came from or like how, you know what I'm saying? Her cuticles were all cut up and she had dry blood everywhere. She was bleeding. I was like, no. But that did free up time to do this unexpected soak off that we needed to do because she didn't book that either. And yeah, so there was product on here and it was a very pale pink nude color or whatever, and so we went ahead, removed that, and now this is where we're at. Now from first glance you can actually see she does have some discoloration of her big toenail and the second toenail. She does already have darker colored toenails in general, but the first two on both feet actually years and years ago, she said it's been like this for 15 years. She used to run track and unfortunately she was stepped on by somebody during a race, during whatever, and it caused some issues with her toenails. She's seen a doctor, she's tried a lot of things for discoloration, nothing worked, and I did let her know that discoloration is not going to go away. So we decided to go with a clear pink because although you would be able to see the discoloration through, it will look way more natural than trying to hide it with a pale color, because then it will look like something's wrong. So as you can see, her toenail is not like super duper short, but her main problem is that it is slim. So I'm just taking one bead. Like I said, this is an easy fix, and I'm using that one bead to go ahead and widen the toenail because her toenail will never grow any wider than this. And you can see basically I am following the line of where the base of her toenail is, how far out it would normally go if her toenail was not damaged to this extent. So although she does grow toenail, which this is common in people, maybe the toenail is not extremely short, but it is missing pieces, as you can say, or it grows differently, and so you need to kind of redo basically where the sidewalls used to be. So luckily she does not have any like super duper thickness of her toenails, but by doing this I'm keeping the bead super duper flat, super thin, because I'm not wanting to bulk up anything yet. So here you can see I am basically evening this out, and through the pink you can see how much was actually missing with her new growth pattern versus how her toenail normally grows, and it makes quite the difference. I tell this to people a lot. Most of the time it's not the length that makes the difference, it's reconstructing those missing areas that makes the difference of having a full and what people consider as a nice toenail. You see what I'm saying? Because I did not make her toenails extremely long at all, but I did widen them significantly for what would fit her natural nail bed. Like this is, if this did not happen to her, this injury, it would have more than likely looked like this. You see what I'm saying? And the reason why I want to show this application, and this is going to be a quick video, but it's because I noticed that a lot of people kind of don't dig a little bit deeper when they're doing acrylic toes, and to know that, hey, you don't just slap a tip on here and then start building. Because realistically, if I were to try and put a tip on, I mean, it would still be extremely narrow. Okay. So now that I have the base built of what was missing, I'm just taking a smaller bead and I am going to fill in the cuticle area and basically adjust the surface So because most of her toenail didn't actually need any product at all, I'm just doing enough so that way when I file, it's not going to file through to her natural toenail, but it also has the right thickness all around to support the enhancement, and so that when you look from different angles, it doesn't look odd or bumpy. Since I did have to like kind of redo the sidewall area, I don't want that to look extremely like flat to the nail and then like her real nail smack in the middle, you know. So this is what I'm doing right now. Like I said, I'm kind of evening stuff out, and I am gonna go ahead and now focus on the length, because as I always say, you want whatever enhancement you're doing, like whatever toenail, you want it to be longer than what you want your final result to be. Because if I did not lengthen this, when I went to go ahead and file, what would happen is it would get even shorter, and you're gonna have a whole lot of skin showing on top of the toe, and it'll look natural, but it's gonna be way more natural looking than it needs to be, I guess. So you have to keep that in mind too, that if you want your enhancement to be just to the tip of the toe, you need to go ahead and lengthen it a little bit. Okay, that's another mistake that people make. They kind of just make it to the exact length they want it to be and not take in consideration any filing or shaping or anything like that. So as you can see, we're 6 minutes in and this toenail is pretty much almost fully built. I just want to make sure everything is tucked the right way, and you do want to make sure that you go underneath the enhancement a little bit with your brush, like you saw me do earlier, I believe, like this right here, because I don't want it to be extremely thick, and what I also don't want it to do is to create any issues for anything underneath. You want this to be not extremely thick right there, as I said, and you don't want anything to be hurting anyone, because when acrylic presses into somebody after so long, what happens is it leaves indents and it can cause pain and things like that, and that's not what you want at all. We don't want that for a client. So I'm hoping that now that you can see from different angles and stuff, it will kind of help you to understand that just because something looks bad or different, it does not mean that it is unfixable. Because in fact, most people's problems is fixable. Okay, the problem is that when someone is uneducated about discoloration or about what like how to, I don't want to say how to read the feet, but if you look at the other toenails and stuff like that, you kind of can have an estimate of like how do her toenails naturally grow when they are not injured. Okay, and so because I can see her toenails, they're very strong looking, they are very wide, well not very wide, but you see what I'm saying, like we want to match the big toe to what the rest is looking like. Okay, because even though this is just like an aesthetic thing, we want everything to also be what do they call that, anatomically correct for the person's foot, instead of like, hey, this is just, I'm just slapping this on here and blah blah blah, because it needs to fit them. That's the whole point of this, you know what I'm saying? So I did not show any shaping or filing or anything, because I really just wanted you guys to see this in-depth look at an easy fix, and it is still a reconstruction of sorts, but it's just a very mild one. And sometimes people get kind of nervous when it comes to, okay, there's a nail here, so what needs to be reconstructed? But you have to really kind of look at it and see what's going on, so that way you can understand how to fully help the person. Okay, so I apologize this took so long to get out. Yesterday I wasn't feeling well, and also on top of that, I left my laptop charger at my boyfriend's house, so I was here at home with a computer that did not actually have any charge. So unfortunately for me, I was not able to upload, but I did go ahead and film our Valentine's Day date, so I'll be getting that to you guys later on today. And that's pretty much the extent of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what other types of stuff that you want to see. I truly am grateful for all of those that have subscribed and that watch and things like that. I've been not working as much lately, but I will still definitely have a good amount of content for you guys, so don't worry. And of course, this is the final result of what we were able to do for her. Hope this helps somebody, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one.